Shooter Breeze topic number 5. This should be an interesting one. Lyor Cohen coming to Africa to Captain Jack Sparrow Nigerian's music like he did Black Americans. Let's see what the link takes us to. Sorry, I'm not sharing the damn screen. Give me a second. Okay. Share screen. You guys could see it.
All right, what's happening?
I'm good. Welcome to Nigeria.
Thank you.
I love what YouTube Music is doing, partner with Afrobeats.
Thank you.
But right now, how can YouTube Music partner with Afrobeats to become a truly big and global force like K-pop or Latin music right now?
So my opinion is nothing is overnight.
Yeah.
Why are we in a hurry? Let's make sure that when we actually do the job, that we do an authentic job and not a job that will make us cringe. Like, wait a second, that wasn't actually the best first step, second, third, fourth step.
Yeah.
So to me, I think you guys, by the way, you're not getting out of the music business.
No,
okay? This is part of your culture. And what I think's happened is you guys have become world citizens. So you know about what's happening in Houston with Megan, just like a person in Houston that knows what's going on with Megan. And so it's that combination, the combination of what makes you uniquely African, the rhythms, the sensibilities, but you're a global citizen. You got a passport that's full. You guys, with this emerging economy and you want to experience and see what's happening around the globe. And to me, it's that combination, the world getting smaller, you Nigerians becoming real global citizens. And it's that combination that is going to take this music to another level. There's no stopping it.
What can the global music industry learn from Afrobeat, which is fresh, which is dynamic? What can they learn? What are the cues they can take from us?
Well, to me, when I listen to Afrobeats, I hear melodies.
Yeah, very melodious.
I don't know if they could learn from it. I think when you cut a Nigerian open, they bleed music. They bleed those melodies. That's generational. So don't share it. That's your unique advantage. They don't have to learn. They have to find their own secret sauce. But your secret sauce to me is the rich heritage of music and the melodies. It's just unbelievable. So
now the world's attention is on Nigeria, West African pop music, Ghana, and other places. How important is it for us to own our narrative, for African artists to own their narrative going into the global space?
So I believe the only way that you could seed the narrative, give it up, is not having real entrepreneurs and infrastructure in place that are going to do a respectful long-term job. If this infrastructure is only about tomorrow, the next day, I think that you may lose the opportunity. And I think you already have the creative juices, you have the heritage juices. It's now, can the apparatus, the entrepreneurs, the record companies, the publishers, could they have a 5 or 10-year vision? Could they create an infrastructure and support for the creative community that will help take them around the world and be successful for a long time? That's really, I think, one of the only reasons why you could see your position.
Okay. Now, YouTube Music is here at the right time where we're trying to cross borders. how can Nigerian artists take advantage of YouTube music as a platform?
I consider Africans becoming PhDs in YouTube.
Yeah.
I really do. I think you guys know how I met so many incredibly smart, creative people that actually know more about YouTube and how it works than I do. And that's impressive. It's like the Latin artists have learned how to utilize YouTube. The African artists are right there.
You announced earlier on that Google YouTube will partner with Mr. Easy. What do you like most about Mr. Easy as, I'll say, an entrepreneur?
I like the fact that he's having the imagination to create the excitement around him and help bring new artists. That's entrepreneurial. That's like what we did at Def Jam, at Rush Management, etc. So he's not satisfied just with himself, but he wants to create an organization that helps bring new artists. That's what attracted us to him.
Okay. As Afrobeat is rising, and you being a part of the rise of not only rap music, but hip hop culture in America and the mainstream.
Yeah.
What are things we can learn from hip hop as a culture, where we can create our own Puffys, Damon Dash, Russell, Jay-Z?
Right.
What can we learn from the rise of hip hop in America?
I think you're going to find that happening naturally because the opportunity is there. I think now people understand there's a ton of money to be made. And so you're going to get those characters. You're going to get those entrepreneurs. Don Jazzy, you have T1, you have people that are serious businessmen that are now starting to invest in the cultural music of Nigeria. And so I'm not worried about that. You're going to have a lot of flavors. The key is how long is their vision? If they're going to try to shortcut it, that puts everything at risk. The blueprint for YouTube music is to help the creative community, the artists, songwriters find their fans and grow their fans and be able to make a living making music. That's what our mission is. We plan on doing that in 4 different ways: advertising, subscription, alternative monetization, and promotion. All of those things are important. But the 5th thing that underpins everything is information back to the investor to determine, does their investment on this product or this video on the platform, is it paying off? So data that helps inform how you're doing is really critical, and we're building that as well.
Earlier on, we were speaking, you showed that you are very in touch with not only hip hop culture in America today, but also Nigerian music. What keeps you going? Because what you achieved with Def Jam in the 90s, early millennium, still stuff of legends. They pivoted and went to 300 and created a new label that was mainly based off data, streaming, and all that. What keeps you going? What keeps Lyor Cohen going?
I love what I do. I wake up every morning and the singular thought happens. Maybe today's the day that I bump into someone magical. Could be on someone texting you saying, yo, I'm hearing that you're with Lyor. I want you to slide my music to that person. And that person could end up being Jay-Z or Kanye or Bruno Mars or Ed Sheeran. Who knows? But I wake up with that. Can you imagine that I wake up like maybe today is the day that I'm going to bump into? Why do you think I'm here? I'm here like a big game hunter. I'm looking for, and it's big because it changes people's lives and cultural perception. That's fun. Why would I stop doing that? Like, they're going to have to carry me out of here, okay?
Yeah.
And they're going to have to go real hard. So I have zero interest in not out here trying to find something. I'm going to find something. Like, I knew about Rema before you knew about Rema. Promise you, okay? I promise you, because I'm spending my time. That's exciting to me. So, Zlatan. Okay, Zlatan, I'm looking for you. Okay, where are you at, Zlatan? Okay, hit me up. Okay.
Emerging acts out of Nigeria. What's your advice to them as a label boss, the head of YouTube Music? What's your advice to them? Like, how can you be unique? How can you grow your business, scale it to the level where not only Nigeria, Africa is listening to you, but the whole world is listening to you?
Okay, be authentic. Be authentic. When you get on that stage, make sure you deliver.
Stagecraft.
Because everybody could fake people out digitally. The truth is told on stage. So if you can't do the stage, give it up. 3, surround yourself with the right people. Look them in the eye, and if they're going to just be yes people, throw them out the window. 4, push yourself. Be consistent and persistent. 5, love what you do. Love what you do. 6, find that song. Like a great script, it's the hardest thing in Hollywood to find, a great script. A great song is hard to find, but it could change your life. So there's a lot of things that you need to do, but the basis is love what you do, because it's a tough road. Being an artist is a tough road. Even when you become successful, it becomes, remember what Biggie said, more money, more problems, okay?
What do you think about the Beyonce album? Featuring a lot of African acts.
I love it.
What does it mean for us?
I think, earlier someone asked, when would Africa and African artists get in the mainstream?
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest artist in the world just executive produced The Lion King with African artists. I mean, that's on Disney.
That's as big as it is.
That's pretty mainstream. So, bravo. Bravo to everybody, man.
Thank you. When did you first come in contact with Nigerian music? Can you remember when?
I have to tell you, it's been over 40 years.
Wow.
Because I don't know if you ever heard of a company called RCC.
Yeah, I heard of it.
That was my father's company.
Whoa.
So my family's been here since 1960. Okay? Eating okra soup, having Gary, and drinking some Star beer, listening to Fela and King Sunny Ade. So, okay? Don't forget, Israelis were here for a long time.
What's the next? This is the last question. What's the next frontier for the music business?
I don't know. I'm not a weather vane. I'm not a weatherman. I just want to be in that pocket. I want to be nimble and curious enough that when they say, yo, it's going down in Lagos, I jump on a plane and come. Okay? All right? Good to meet you. And thank you for your time, man. All right.
Oh, Lyor Cohen. So much wrong in that video. I personally don't even know where to begin. But I will say, because I think Yana B asked in the chat earlier, who's this? Lyor Cohen was the head of a label, like one of the big guys in hip hop industry. I believe he was head of a label.
Def Jam.
Huh? Def Jam.
He was, yeah, after Russell and the other white boy got moved out, they brought in his Lyor.
Right. And maybe 2 years ago, maybe it was, Charlemagne from the Breakfast Club had them. He was on, this guy Lyor was on the Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne asked him, like, yo, why do y'all push this music with all this, all these negatives for the black community and stuff? And this white boy, Lyor, a Jew, by the way, looked up in the sky and said, hey, man, I got kids to send to college. I did a pregnant pause there because I wanted that to set in. This shyster that the forecast would call him, someone tells you, hey, man, all this negativity is causing all these different ills, or at least contributing to all these different ills in our society. He's like, I got kids to send to college. I'm going to still keep pushing it. That's like you telling someone, hey, man, your farm, your animals are shitting in the drinking water, and it's coming down to my house. And the man says, well, hey, listen, I'm an animal farmer, man. I got a farm. No consideration, man. So yeah, I'll just put that out there. So we just watched that video. Let me get you guys' thoughts. Tanzan, what's your thought on what you just saw?
Well, Nigeria has once again sold out Africa. No, I mean, it's a damn shame. It's one of those things, like they're done with Black America. Now they're going to, I guess, to greener pastures, and the pastures are not even that green. But now it's the assault on Africa. It's not enough for them to, destroy. Well, I don't know to take over hip hop, but now they have to go now to the, to the continent to really do the damage, and that will be complete. So I don't know. I think that that kind of music should be wiped out, and Africans should go back to creating their local, regular music. African music should not be standardized, or it shouldn't be, characterized by one particular group. Because when people say Afrobeats, they don't mean, Kenyan beats, they don't mean Togolese beats, they don't mean, Lingala and all these, other beats. They mean, specifically Nigerian music. And that's, limiting a whole group of people to a very, and it minimizes the rest of Africa. And not just to say that we are resentful of Nigeria, yeah, they're the biggest and all of that stuff, but at the same time, even within Afrobeat itself, the music is so derivative. It is, to me, like reggaeton, just the same old over and over again. And you'd think that a place like Nigeria would produce far more diverse, intricate productions than what we've been getting. So it's not just to say that Nigeria should not represent African music. It's also to say that that music that should not represent all of the country. So, if that's what they want, that's what it can be. But, it's not fair for the rest of the continent to be defined by either Afrobeats or Amapiano. It's useless music. Music should have, a certain time when it comes and goes. It shouldn't just go and on and on. And this thing is like an tinnitus. Yeah, that's ringing in the ear. It hasn't stopped for years and years. Like, what are we going to do after that? African music was always very innovative and creative, and one thing would come in and then something else would replace it, and on. But this thing just seems to have a hold, and it's not going anywhere, and it's tiring. And it sounds good. I'm not saying it doesn't. Like, if you're listening to it, you can be caught up in hours and hours of your mind just going blank listening to, this kind of nonsense. But, we're better than this. That's all I'm saying. And the fact that these people are now seeing something that they can use for that, it means that this thing was not good, to begin with.
Thank you for that, Tag. Yeah, Yana B. I don't expect them to have consideration. I wasn't saying it, because I was hoping that they'd have some consideration. I know they don't have no consideration. I was framing it that way for the slow ones in the back who don't hear too good, to pay attention to this shit now. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't expect them to have consideration. And neither should they. Like you said, if you have a donkey, ride it, right? Trigger Happy 262 in the chat says soft power is always an interesting thing because it definitely has a psychological aspect to it, and how you control cultural power really adds to your perception. He says, so depending on how they manipulate things and who they try to push to their cultural center is very important. He says, in his opinion, music shouldn't be a trend either. Any music that lasts and sounds good is a plus. Any music that is detrimental psychologically is what we probably should push out. D. Webb from the House Ready podcast is here. He said, peace, fam. He said, African countries, some of the last few places with a young growing population. All the vultures going to be targeting it as a consumer hub soon. They need to hold the line. Africa needs to hold the line, right? With that said, let's go to Marcus Garvey's the way.
Hi. That to sign contracts with that guy, it's going to be signing deals with the devil. He said what he had to say about being a big game hunter and whatever. It seems like a whole predatory situation where he's just looking for the next money making project. Yes, and as you said, if his response to creating derogatory music and destructive music in Black America as he got to send his kids to college, what's he gonna do for his grandkids in Africa? Because basically, what is he willing to poison Africa with so that he can have generational wealth for his grandkids? Yeah. So my one thing that I'll say, and I don't know how YouTube would take it, but people talk about the Jews, whatever, or I don't know if you want to call them the small hats. We know that a lot of the social issues around them are negative to society as a whole. And yet you're not allowed to criticize them as a group, but they can criticize us for, little individual things. And, I often say to myself that Hitler,
Yana, I mean, not Yana, Marcus Garvey, please be careful.
Yes.
That's why I'm not saying. Yeah, that's why I'm not saying.
The Y might be something for J. Who knows?
Yeah. That's why I'm not saying it in more detail. But yeah, like somebody else already claimed that there were a problem and solved the problem. We today complain about the problem.
Come on, please don't do that.
I got nothing else to say. That's it.
Yeah, so yeah, don't be like Icon Fire. I forgot to mention this last week. I saw Icon Fire got Brandon's one of his videos struck for a minute there. So Icon Fire came on one day and just blazed fire on a Jewish woman who does be on Brandon's channel. So there was something else I wanted to point out about it too, and I think I lost that thought. I lost that.
When he said he was a big game hunter.
Yeah, it was something to do with that, I think, but I've forgotten now what the point. Oh yeah, I actually wanted to go back to something and show y'all something too real quick. Namer X said something earlier in the last prompt. He said, we as Black people know BS when we see it. When you watch this white boy talking here, and you notice he'll hit the little soft, trying to pretend to be humble. I think Africa is lovely, and I think the Nigerians know, I think they're special, and he has the soft voice on and all this old shit. We know bullshit when we see it. We know it when we hear it. But sometimes we pretend we don't. Like in that last prompt, you could listen to that guy talk and you could tell this is a character. Just like what Lyor Cohen is being in front of this Nigerian here in Africa. This is a character. He's talking soft, but if you listen to some of his words, he can't help but show who he is. I'm a big game hunter here. He says something later in the interview too that's like, wow, this dude is letting you know straight up what he's letting you know straight up what he's on.
He said that the Israelis were always there as well.
He's letting you know straight up what he's on. You know? Is there Zuli here?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yo. The reason that we know what he's doing is because we've seen this movie before. They did it with hip hop in the beginning of the 80s, in the mid 80s. What's crazy about this is that this man is talking to this guy like he's a woman. You know how you gas women up? You give them compliments, you gassing them up because you know you're about to take the cookie. Because you know this brother right here is so this brother Cohen got his hands so much up his butt that he don't even know nothing. We've seen this game before because it was played on hip hop here. And I'm gonna say this. This brother name, what's his name? Burna Boy, right? Burna Boy got a song called I Igbo and Shallow, right? When people listen to that song, you just y'all know that song?
Yeah.
You know what he's talking about? Getting drunk and drinking alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
This is what Igbo means in the song. Getting drugs and alcohol. And I'm so embarrassed that Burna Boy would do a song like that because I saw an interview of him when they asked him, is this music, what's it called? What do they call that music? It's called something, Afro beats. He said, no, don't call that Afro beats. Afro beats is what Fela did. We're not doing what Fela did. This is something different. I don't even understand what Burna Boy is saying in most of his songs, just like those rappers so it's like they're making us stupid. We don't even know what they're saying. We are all in the club saying, Igbo Shallow. This guy's talking about drugs and alcohol. So now this says everything that I need to hear. They're gonna go down in the motherland. They're gonna destroy the respect that the youth have for the elders. They're gonna destroy the whole family structure. I'm telling you, it's gonna get really bad before it gets better. So, and maybe if the matron was there, we could have spoke about that. It's just I see a masculine energy and a feminine energy, and this brother got a lot of feminine energy. He doesn't see that he's supposed to protect the integrity of the social culture that's about to come to his continent. He's there grinning from ear to ear like an idiot. And Leo, he about to eat.
You mean his cheeks are wide open?
Yo, bro, they're about to eat. I mean, me, myself, I love African music. It doesn't matter if it's from Nigeria or everything. I know Lyor Cohen. I know a lot of. There used to be this channel in New York City, Channel 25. Back in the days, it used to play music from all over the world. And I'm telling you, they used to play a lot of, is it sukus? All of that from there. He's not gonna go put money behind that. But you see what he did? He said, "Oh, I was there with Fela and everything." But does he listen to Fela's music? Fela's music is criticizing what these colonizers were doing to us. Even his sons follow what Fela is doing. So this brother's in there like, what, nobody? And then I'm not gonna blame this brother-in-law because if Cohen would have went to the Caribbean, the same thing would have been happening. Yo, this is destruct. Like, he's not gonna go down there to promote good music about good cultural ethics. He's not gonna do that. It's the same thing. When I heard this song, I Boshalo, I'm like, yo, it sounds good to my ear. Let me Google what that means. This Burna Boy talking about drugs and alcohol. That's all I want to do. And granted, a lot of the Afro beats music, they've been talking about sex, all of this, all of that too. I thought it was hip hop I was listening to on Afro beats. On different on beats. Yo, they're gonna go there and they're gonna turn that into a music thing, and you're gonna see how the culture is gonna go down worse than it already is. They're gonna introduce all what they want to do. Because look at how he's talking very passive aggressive, like I'm the lion. And I'm here to eat. And this brother out there don't even see that. Because oh my God, yo, you know what, bro? Kanye wasn't that lying, man. And I know y'all gonna kill me for this.
One quick second. This black man is asking this white boy, what is this deal gonna do for us? Y'all supposed to have figured out already what is the, what is in your best interest in this partnership, if you're gonna do it at all. He's asking the white boy to tell him what this is gonna do for us. Razuli, go ahead, continue.
And I could understand if he was going, and we saw, and you see how brazen he is. When you just said it, he went on Charlemagne and said, Charlemagne asked him, why would you promote music that said drugs about taking drugs? He said, my people gotta eat. Cohen, how long your people's been eating, bro? You mean to tell me that your family's not set yet? Yo, I don't want to hear nothing. Yo, the black man has fallen, bro. And for that man to sit up there and let another man gas him up like this, sorry to use your name, Gas, but to flirt with him like that.
No, that's why I named that's why I took the name.
Yo, that man sat over there and gassed this brother up like he was a woman. And he's blushing.
Oh no, like I said, his cheeks were open.
Crazy. At least you the man. You're supposed to be the protector of the family, of the culture, and you're just sitting there? Because you know why? They all on that capital G. Let me get money. Let me drive a Benz let me drive a Benz so I could show off. Let me get more than one woman so I could show off. This is what they want to do. Yo, this is crazy, man. I'm done.
Azuli, I'll be honest. This dialogue you just saw, I can envision this was the same dialogue that was happening on the coast during the slave genocide.
It's the same thing, bro. And so it didn't gas him up. Is it us? We are the morally, what you just said is, they can't sell you shit that you don't want to do. Bro, my man is sitting there. And then they probably picked him on purpose. They all laughing. They're gonna give all these people 360 deals, own them. The same thing Akon did talking about the Akon City. The same thing. Oh my, I'm embarrassed, bro. So now I'm gonna be mad at Cohen? No. Oh, that's it, man.
You sound like Kamala Harris, man. No. Gas, did I hear from you on this?
No, I mean, I'll be brief. Look, listen, everyone's touched on it. Azuli, you guys all touched on what needs to be said. I just want to point out, again, for me, I can imagine these type of conversations were had, on the coast during that genocide that they called the slave trade. Just like, they named it Afro beats. Africans didn't call it Afro beats. White people, that's a white man's name. But look, it's weird. When I get on other platforms, if I've been on a Dynast and I call Afro beats drug addict, crackhead music, you should see the comments. Or after the show, you read the comments. They just gassed them up, guy, and they hate my guts. But look, what I wanted to also point out very quickly is, you see, this is what he said. He gave the blueprint as to what these evil bastards do. So he said the culture. Music is not culture. And I've had this conversation with people on this platform, and it's like, I hope you guys are seeing why it's not culture. Because what he's saying is that they're able to get idiots that they give deals that now come to represent the imagery of the people. And so now once you get someone to represent the imagery of the people, then that person can be spoon-fed what needs to be said, right? And so the minute you don't go along with the agenda, well, that's when your sex tape leaks. That's when, you're labeled as crazy, or however they want to control you, right? Or they sacrifice somebody in your family, like Kanye West broke the oath and said, that he sacrificed his mother, or they did, whoever knows. But the point is that you know, this is what they're doing, and so the problem with what he's attempting to do is that, and that's the key difference between the United States and Africa. Wizkid and Burna Boy, as much as they're great musicians and Nigerians like them, a Yoruba man, an Igbo man, a man from Osun State will never say Burna Boy is his culture, because he's going to say, no, I have my village, and my village has an Abba, my village has real codes of conduct and behavior, things that I'm supposed to be doing. Burna Boy does not represent that. And that is why, you know, these new age Africans who either they're Republican capitalist types or they're granola eating New York Times types, they want to eradicate the villages. They want to, you know, come with that notion. Not everything cultural was good. Let's get rid of the culture, get rid of the village, get everybody educated, because, you know, this is how they sound. Well, let's be real. Honestly, if you want Africa to develop, what needs to be done is the women have to be free. They need to get access to capital markets. You need to have one child per family, and then Africa will have the opportunity for economic growth, right? And depending on the accent, this is what I'm hearing from these morons. And so hopefully, you know, the voodoo that I work with and the different energies can kill them off or can thwart their plans. So I hope you guys put that energy towards that as well. But I'll stop there.
I appreciate that, Gas. Marcus Garvey's way. Did I get you on this one?
Yes, you did.
Tan, did I get you on this one?
Yes, sorry, it's breakfast time. Yes, you got me on this one.
All right, thanks. Juan Agazik, I guess is you.
Sure. So can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. So it's a few things that I would like to say. Good, because it's a new F1s. It's a few things that I would like to say on this particular topic. You know, I think that the African artist needs to control their distribution and control their publishing, and really study. Like I said before, that success leaves clues, and so does failures. And I think that if they was to study, and maybe most of them won't, but some will study the business that they are in, and really understand what the show business is all about and what has been done to Black artists in the West. In particular, for this particular character, and in the Caribbean, there was a guy, his name was Chris Blackwell. He got in a lot of the publishing, not all of it, but a lot of the publishing from Bob Marley, you know, and was able to garner billions of dollars from their music. And I would also say that there are a lot of Black producers who are complicit in selling their rights to Chris Blackwell, you know, and what happened to these guys in the Caribbean, you know. So I would tell them to really study the show business. You know, before I ever knew about Nigerian, well, I knew about Fela, but before I ever knew about Afro beats, I knew about one of my favorite African artists is Ali Fakature and Salif Keita, you know, and there are many others, Angelica Kidjo and Alpha Blondie. These guys have been in the business for a very long time. And I would suggest that they take the time and have a conversation with these people, because they know more about the business side of the music as opposed to just the performance itself. I would assume, since they've been in the business so long, and take cues from them, you know. And I would say that you don't need outsiders to come in to try to take the saddles of the music when you have been able to become international without these interlopers, you know, just like the movie industry with Nollywood. And we have a lot of critiques and criticisms of these people, but these people have been able to guerrilla films and produce the industry. So you don't necessarily need a helping hand to take your art or take your labor and distribute that to the rest of the world, because you've been doing it before that. So I would suggest that they have a conversation to the people who've been doing it. You know, some of them are still alive. Have a conversation with them and try to get some understanding about the business aspect of what you actually do, not just as an artist, but the business aspect. Because Lyor Cohen is not a new person. I'm sure there have been many people coming to the continent to try to internationalize and pervert their music before him. He is just a new reiteration of people who came before him. So I would suggest that they to talk to the people who came before them. I know that I'm respect their music. Tell them to have a conversation with the artists who've been out into the international arena and who understand the business better than the younger. I would suggest that they do that. You know, but I'll stop there.
I want to ask you guys to respond to this question Trigger Happy 262 put up in the chat earlier. He says, I would like to ask everyone, and this isn't antagonistic to your points because I largely agree, but what was the subject matter that our ancestors sang? Like, what were they singing and dancing about? So I'd like to put that to you guys. We have some continental Africans here. You guys will have probably a better knowledge to answer this question and say us from the Caribbean. But I'll put it out there, a free fall. Whoever wants to answer, go ahead.
Well, they sang about work, about life, about love, about marriage. There's a song about mosquitoes, and that's a real thing because, you know, mosquitoes really, you know, terrorize you at night. They sing about their cows. They sing about young girls. They sing about, you know, young girls who have lost their way, or, you know, young girls who have, you know, who stayed the right way. They talk about, you know, brave men and warriors.
How do they talk about young girls who've lost their way?
Well, you know, there's songs about, you know, girls who are, you know, or disrespectful, or they don't listen, or the things that happen when they are, you know, when they don't listen to.
Yeah, you heard Snoop Dogg. Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks, right? No, that's not. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, well, things like that. Yeah. So they're moral songs, or sometimes they're just happy songs. Sometimes they're happy about, you know, the harvest festival, or a certain, you know, the songs about, you know, the what was that song? The garden is full of fruits, but it's only the birds that are eating them. So they sing about the song that the hawk sings to the chicken before it's about to. So they sing about all kinds of things, you know. I sounded Bahamian there for a second. All kinds of things.
Firstly, you need to pronounce Bahamian way better than that.
Okay, so I hope you know, I covered everything. But yeah, songs about everything. And then on the social ones, they'll sing about a woman's beauty. They'll sing about you know, a man's handsomeness. You know, people are worried. So I don't know. And the dancing, they had dancing for harvest seasons.
What about the hit ancient Kenyan song, "Farm Nigga Free"? Remember that song? Came out in the 1800s.
No.
Remember that Kenyan "Farm Nigga Free"? No, not. Oh,
No.
sorry.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so I hope I have covered, you know, some of that. So everything from animals to people to moral stories to, heroes. They would sing about the heroes of the past, how, they conquered, certain people, how they were great men, or, things like that. Yeah.
All right. We get that. Gas. What
Okay.
say you?
I think people sang about all kind of things. There are examples of people even having lewd songs, but a lot of times it was in context. It was there were songs to bring down rain. There were songs during war. There are songs during times of mourning. There are songs during times of harvest. So people sang at different times and different places and different occasions. I think the difference is that what's happening is that those songs, to a certain degree, are created, either through ceremonial purposes, but a lot of the ceremonial songs that the initiates would sing, the local people might hear it, but oftentimes they were forbidden, or the initiates might sing in such a convoluted language that the local people wouldn't even understand what was being said unless you were initiated. Um, and so the common people, right? I hate to use that term, but the average folk, they would organically, again, it's kind of like the way black people would sing certain, spirituals and things about, daily life in the South and stuff like that. Um, the difference is that what's happened today is we have studio music, and there's nothing wrong with studios per se, but when you have Beyonce sitting in a studio singing To the Left, right? Neo, the R&B singer, a man wrote that song. Maybe he was talking about his personal breakup. I don't know. But he wrote that song for a woman. She sings it. And women, it's like a psyop. These women absorb this nonsense. And so they're walking to the left, everything to the left, you dusty. Woohoo, I'm free, independent. And, you got the men singing nonsense. Usher says, these are my confessions. So you got every man thinking it's romantic to confess to your wife that you went down to Mexico and you banged the big booty chicks. It's just nonsense, and it's created in a laboratory. So when you see the In the Club video, it's befitting that Dr. Dre, a musical doctor, and this guy Eminem are wearing lab coats as they see their Frankenstein come to life. And so these things are perfected in a laboratory and then presented to the masses and repeated often and often and often on the radio, to the point that, people just continue them as if it's happenstance. And I think that's the problem. The people don't control the music controls the people. And so the reference point, and that's why, with Trigger Happy, I guess maybe you're not understanding what I'm saying. Music is not culture. Music is a part of culture. But what they are doing and what they've perfected in America is they've perfected entertainers and entertainment to come to represent the culture. So you'll see Steve Harvey on his show. He's like, man, what you got there? And they gave him collard greens, deep fried collard greens with wild rice and some stuff. And he was eating it, and he's like, woo, child, man, I'm having a real black moment here. Oh my God. And he was licking his fingers. And he was just doing this freaking, Sambo show. And that has been brought to the attention of people that that's how black people should act. Just go on YouTube. You'll see it says, if you black, you eat chicken standing up and you eat your french fries sitting down. And it's like, what the fuck are people talking about? Where are we getting this nonsense from? It's stuff that anybody can just go in on TV. Perfect example is what's that Black Hollywood film with Robert Townsend, where Hollywood Shuffle or something like that. I can't remember the title of the film. And the white director keeps telling the black guy, stick your butt out, push your lips out, and talk jive. He's like, yeah, man, I ain't gonna get down, Ronnie. And he's like, I like that, but stick your butt out some more and talk jive. Yeah, man, I gonna get you, Ronnie. And here it is, a white guy is directing how black imagery is supposed to be. And then black people watch this imagery and absorb it and copy it. And it's just, and that's not culture. If it's manufactured by a white guy like Lyor Cohen, that is not culture. And so to answer the question, yeah, people sang about all a variety of things, but it came from the people. There's nothing for the most part other than some 5 minutes of fame that one of these influencers might have that comes from the people organically. And when they do have to contend with something that comes from the people, they deal with it for a few seconds and then they discard it. If you guys notice, right, whenever there's a person who comes from the community that might have done something, like there was that kid, the black kid, Little Terrio, and he was dancing and he was bad or something. So you saw all these hip hop artists approach him. They took him on. They absorbed him. They used his energy. Right, this is some real occultic stuff, right? In black pentagrams, they use his energy, and now nobody hears about this guy anymore. Right? So they've used him up, absorbed him, because the system doesn't like anything to come out that wasn't created by the system. But they know that that will happen from time to time. So they absorb you, suck your energy up, and then they spit you back out. So you get your little 15 minutes of fame and you're gone. So I think that's what I hope that answers Trigger's question.
All right.
I think that I think that give me a second. I think that yes, I think that there will be many people who come around and they make bubblegum music. But there'll also be people like Fela Kuti them when they make music like Coffin for the Head of State. 40 years later we listening to that. And there'll be people like Bob Marley who sing Get Up, Stand Up. And 60 years later, people still listen to that culture. It impacts the culture. I think that sometimes music could be very impactful for the culture and informative for people who may not necessarily know better, and it may open that so-called third eye, and influence the minds of many people. So I think that strategically, these people who are sitting on the screen right now, they'll go unnamed. They want to be able to dictate the actions of what black people do. But you gonna always have that revolutionary spirit in the music, amongst the bubblegum music. And I feel like that music is always gonna last, and the bubblegum music is gonna fall away. And that's what these people don't recognize. These shysters, they're gonna create the flash in the pan artists that's gonna last the day, where they're gonna solicit a couple $1 million from them. But the essentially Africa is an old country and black people are old people. All old people. We go way back. Way back. And I think that that's the depth that we have. I think that ultimately we'll always be able to supersede what these people try to push in to who we are as the people, and maybe I'm optimistic about that, but that's what I believe. Because actually, like I say, 40 years later, that Coffin for the Head of State, that speaks to me, and Fella's long gone. Bob Marley them made their music in the 70s, and many people still influenced by the things that they would have said way back when. So I think the real ones will remain, but as y'all suggesting, the bubblegum music will fade away. I think it will, but I'll stop there.
Thanks for that, everyone.
Okay, can I say something?
Go ahead.
I mean, because you asked about the type of music that we used to listen to. Because in Haiti, when I was younger, they used to have music that spoke about sex, about this and that, but it was poetically put where the kids didn't understand it until you're 25 and be like, what? That's what y'all was talking about? I'm not gonna say that the Haitian music didn't have like, guys cheating on their wife cheating on their guy. There was all type of music about women, about men, about love, about lust, about politics, about the bad government, about saying and fighting to change the country. There was all of that type of music in the Haitian culture. But if you want to say, there was crude music, but it was a, what's the word, a double entendre. Like, people as a kid, that, okay, I don't know if you know this person Gas or people from Coupe Cloué. Coupe Cloué was one of the biggest artists in Haiti, and then West Africa loved Coupe Cloué too. But Coupe will talk about having a threesome and the music, and you as a kid would not even know what he's talking about until you're like 25 or 17, and you hear your uncle or your other people, this is what the song was. You'd be like, what? They had me singing that when I was a kid? So it's not about the music that I feel that they're gonna start promoting. They're not gonna promote no Fela Kuti or the lady that you were talking about, Angelico or Alpha Blondie, or they're not gonna promote these type of dudes because they could have done that. Because Fela transcends Africa. African music is so beautiful. The African music transcends. Now all of a sudden, now Americans want to be like, oh, Afrobeat is cool. Afrobeat's been fire. Or African
Exactly.
music been fire. I've been listening to African music, maybe because I'm Haitian or whatever, I'm Caribbean, since the 1990s, early 90s. So I don't understand. Like, oh, all of a sudden, what are you talking about, bro? But now that all of that was done on purpose to keep us separated early in the 90s, so we don't listen to Fela because Fela was saying something. But now they're ready to open the music world, because you know why? They're about to put that nonsense. They're talking about that bubblegum music. That bubblegum music is not going nowhere for the time being, because most of our people got bubblegum mentality, especially nowadays.
With
So
that, I'm gonna drop Shoot the Breeze topic number 6, but I do want to do station ID. We've been talking straight here for a while. How to drink water. That's the next topic. What we're gonna do is a station ID break. It'll take a minute. We'll be right back.